Are we ready?
Does anybody have number 5?
We're looking for number 5. Look in your souvenir boxes, please. We're looking for number 5. Anybody with number 5?
If you don't have number 5, please, Dr. Fatu, Sisse, come up with the number. Come and grab a ticket.
We have a draw for a big prize.
Harold Domingo, 0588.
Harold Domingo, ticket number 0588. I'm sure he's not here tonight. Alright?
We'll get it to you.
We're moving on to the fourth prize. Don't worry, Mariano.
Does anyone have number 4?
We're looking for number 4. We're looking for number 4. Please open your souvenir boxes. Remove the souvenir in that box, and there's a number underneath that souvenir. We need that number. We're looking for number 4. Does anyone have number 4?
So we're going to call on Mr. Kobina Houston. Is he in here?
Kubina Houston.
If you can please come and get a ticket.
Fellow Prince Welker. Do the draw for the fourth prize. We go to draw for prize, fourth prize. Miss Aminata Cowboy. 0602. Ticket number 0602. Miss Aminata Cowboy.
Is
Is she
she here?
here?
She's not here, but we'll get her gift too.
Alright. We're looking for number 3. Does anybody have number 3 in the souvenir box? Number 3. Can I have Mrs. Olabisi Thomas please to come up and do the draw for the third prize?
Mrs. Olabisi Thomas, please come on. Oh, we have number 3. Bisi Jarrett, come on. Sorry, you're married. Brown.
While you're waiting for ticket number 2, I want you to get your number ready, please. Look in your box to see if you have the number in there and let me know. We're going to draw for the second prize. For the third prize, sorry. Ticket number 0977. Ticket number 0977.
Oh, they're Boston.
The lady in Boston? Alright, we'll move along. Does anyone have number 2?
We do, the first lady.
Alright, come on please. Price for number 2 is a 58 inches flat screen smart TV. First lady, are you ready? Alright, we want you to dig in deep. Close your eyes.
Gabby. Oh. Ticket number 0152.
Ticket number 0152.
Gabby. Oh no.
Yes, we have a winner here. Wow. Dr. Puno, I believe you're Egyptonian. There's 2 Egyptonian.
And you're the winner of that beautiful TV.
Are you going to take that TV home, sir? Oh, that's for yourself. Okay. Alright. Well, I would like to invite our president, Mr. Joe Peters, to come forward.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming, and I hope you're having a good time. Let me just take this opportunity to express our appreciation for being here tonight. And I'm not going to give a speech because I know that you heard a lot of speeches over the past couple of months. If you're not excited to vote on Tuesday, if you haven't voted before, I urge you that you vote. My job here tonight, if you have been confused more than you have been confused in the last couple of months, I am going to try to confuse you a little bit more. So bear with me as I go through a presentation which is really dear to me, and I want you all to follow me as I go through this conversation with you all. It's a conversation that's worth having because of what it contains. So I'll start off by asking a question. Why should I continue to support the Sierra Leone School Alumni Association or any other alumni association? It's a question worth asking. The reason being that you support all our alumni associations, you support the Sierra Leone School, you support educational courses, but I know that in some instances you keep asking yourself, why should I keep on doing this? You're here tonight. You could have been home sleeping. You could have been at a restaurant. You could have been doing a whole host of other things. But you gave up your time and you gave up your money to come here. $60, $80, $100, and more is a lot that you can do with. But you're here with us. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to explain what your donations do to the Sierra Leone School, as well as what your donations do to Sierra Leone, and also why you should continue doing what you're doing. So, I'm going to quote Junior Achebe, and this is what he said. Junior Servant said, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to redeem them from starving. They all have food in their own houses. When we gather together in the moonlight village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see it in his own compound. We come together because it is a good for kinsmen to do so. Let us find time to come together physically and enjoy the power of togetherness. Let's smile, not because we don't have problems, but because we are stronger than the problems. Let's smile, not because we don't have problems, but because we're stronger than the problems. As I stated in my opening, you're here because of one reason. There is a problem with education in Sierra Leone. And you're here for the 49%. I'll try to explain to you what the 49% means in the next couple of slides and my speeches. So the question again is, why should I continue to support the Sierra Leone Middle School? For the Sierra Leone Middle School, the donations over the past couple of years have helped us to provide sponsorship for kids, the students in school. You've also helped us to provide sponsorship for students that have actually graduated. Your sponsorship has helped us to provide a 40-piece brand instrument for the school to the cost of $40,000, to which we contributed and sent it to the school, which they used for the 170th anniversary, and they've been using since then. Your donations helped us to put up Thomas Payton building, which is a 22 classroom building, and that building was completed 3 years ago, and that's the building that was dedicated then. Your donations also have helped us to provide a full lab equipment in the Thomas Payton building, and that's the electronic lab that they're using with computers to further their education. The donations helped us to provide a full solar system for the school that powers the Thomas Payton building, and that solar system provides energy for the whole building. Your donations a couple of years ago helped us to fill a whole 40-foot container of administrative furniture, and that was shipped to the school, which is going to be used by the students, the staff, the teachers, to further education at the Sierra Leone Middle School. The donations also helped us to renovate restrooms in one of the buildings. And of course, in totality, the donations have helped the Sierra Leone Middle School. Other schools have had sponsorships, scholarships, and some of them are the Anna Walsh Memorial School, which are girls, the St. Joseph's Convent, a new building, a good building, and it's kids, as you can see. The Prince of Wales, the Albert Academy, as you can see, and there are a couple of other schools that have been supported over the past couple of years by your donations. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a reality far from what I've just shown you. The reality is there are schools and there are institutions in Sierra Leone, that do not have the kind of sponsorship or do not have the kind of support that these schools have. The reality is we have schools like this. That's a primary school. They don't have the kind of facilities that we have. We have schools like these. Yes, that's an outdoor secondary school. We have schools like this, and yes, that's a primary school in Pujol. As you can see, there are no uniforms, there are no furniture, there's nothing. And yes, that's Joy Primary School, and that's in Hastings. It's in Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone. And yes, that's RC Primary School, Masimira. That school is responsible for the education for 154 students, 4 teachers, and you have a principal. That's the school. So we're all here tonight. We've had good food, we've had fun, we're dancing. But your donations can go do a lot more. That's the reality on the ground, folks. So, let me just show you another school. That's a private tuition classroom. Yes, it is in Freetown. And that picture is representative of a school in Freetown. So, that's a school, Mafolaga. That's a school that is currently being sponsored by another organization in the DC, Maryland area. They've adopted that school to make sure they put up a building for those kids and provide good education for those kids in sanitary environment. So why am I showing you this? We're here, we're having fun, we're having a good time, but that's the reality on the ground. And that's where the donations should go. More should go there. So let me give you a few statistics about education in Sierra Leone. And please bear with me. You can find those statistics in your pamphlets. The enrollment intake in Sierra Leone at the start of a kid's life compared in Africa. Sierra Leone has a high enrollment intake. 132% for males, 131% for females. And let me just preface this by saying this is data that was collected by UNESCO between 2008 and 2012. Another survey was ongoing between 2012 to 2016, but that was actually cut short by Ebola. So we'll have to rely on the statistics that we have at this current point. So, compared to other countries in Africa, Sierra Leoneans realize that education is the key to success in some aspects or in all aspects. And that's the reason why we have a higher intake. 132% of males enter into primary school and 131% for females. Now, when they transition from kindergarten to K6 and they take the entrance examination, that number drops down to 77% for females and 77% for males. That's more than a 50% drop. That number further drops to 28% for males and 22% for females when they transition from K9 to K12. It drops to that number. So in totality, when the kid enters kindergarten and gets to K9, a male has a 78% chance of dropping out of school, and a female has an 83% of dropping out of school from kindergarten right up to K9. You might think that that is a drastic number, but I'll give you some broad numbers. This is the youth in Sierra Leone between the ages of 15 and 24. That's a proportional representative of kids when they leave K6 right up to K12. 28% of kids in Sierra Leone between the ages of 15 and 24 have never entered the doors of the school. that number further increases. 13% of kids that enter primary school do not finish primary school. 49% of kids that actually transition from K6 and starts up to K9, transitioning to complete K12, do not make it. 49% of the youth in Sierra Leone do not make it. And furthermore, 3% complete K12 and earn the grades for them to say that they completed K12. 3%. 3%. So let me just do a recap for you. We have a high intake of 132%. What you call someone who is educated, which means that they have an attainment with regards to discipline, is 2%. But yet we say we have an interest rate of 59%. So, the 49%, that's where the Sierra Leone School find ourselves. Now, I'm not neglecting all the other numbers that I've just showed in other kids in other age group, but I think that's where we should put the focus. 41% of youth between 15 and 24 never complete primary school. Never. And those kids grow up to be youths. Okay? And then, 44% complete primary school. But yet, 49% do not complete secondary school. I'll show you the 49%. Those are the 49%. Those are kids who should be in school having a good education, but they're actually selling firewood as fuel for cooking. That's the 49%. They should be in school, but they're having a good time after work in front of shops. That's the 49%, which most of them are. They are Okada riders. They do transportation in free time. And that's all they do. Yes, you would say that they're doing some form of productive work to the nation. But let me tell you something else. That's the 49% that were recently recruited to enter into the military, which is a good thing also, to serve the nation. But ladies and gentlemen, the 49%, I'll show you the 49% 15 years ago. These were the 49% 15 years ago. I'm not doing this to shock you, but there's a reason why I'm doing this. If you've heard and if you've been to the country recently, no politicking, no bias, no nothing aside, you have another 49% roaming the streets. And that's the 49% 10 years ago. That was the 49% 15 years ago, sorry. And that is a 49%. So folks, why am I doing this? Or why am I saying this? There is a reason for that. We've been doing all we can, but I think it's high time we start doing more. We cannot do everything, but we have to do more. Now, there's a couple of reasons why the 49% might actually drop out of school. And what can we do what are the factors for the high dropout? Poverty is one. I don't need to say more about it. We've been rated in the last couple of years as underdeveloped for quite a while. And you know the issues that come with underdevelopment. Academic challenges, not everyone is bright enough for them to actually make the grades for them to go to a new school, so that might be another reason. Societal pressure. We all know that some kids think that it's not a good thing to go to school, so they might drop out. But I'm not going to delve on the reasons why and the factors why that should happen. How can we help the 49%? There is a lot that can be done. There are a lot of actions that can be taken. There are a lot of things that can be done. I'm not going to focus on that today, but I'm just going to focus on one single thing. The Chinese philosopher stated that if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant trees. If your plan is for 100 years, educate children. Folks, it's education, it's education, it's education. So, the very first step that should happen in anything, we can talk and do everything we want, it starts with you. And that's the reason why I'm actually talking to you tonight. What can you do? You can become an activist. An activist meaning that you use your voice in financial donation. You can also use your time for the 49%. Activism doesn't mean violence. It means a whole lot of things that you can do aggressively. So, you have to be an activist in your words, in your deeds, in financial contribution, in everything you do. An activist for the needy, an activist for the underprivileged, an activist for the poor. There's a whole lot you can do in activism. On the souvenir that you have in front of you, I want you to do something for me. Please take out a souvenir. Please take out a souvenir. Take it out of the box. Please do. In front of you is a souvenir. Some people might call it a wine glass. Some people might call it a champagne glass. Some people might call it just a glass. Some people might call it a whole host of things. There are a couple of things you can do with that particular souvenir.